The Soundminds group from Real-Time Music. The Scottish Mental Health Arts and Film Festival have set us a challenge.
This year's theme is power. We're going to find out who has the power and how power can make a difference.
We have spoken to a variety of different people to try and answer this question.
This is what we discovered.
Over the course of the past few weeks, the Soundminds team went on a journey to discover who could hold the power. The group organised a live event in Motherwell to raise awareness about mental health. The event had live music, instrument tasters, and we spoke to a variety of people to help us answer the question, who has the power to change attitudes towards the stigma attached to mental health?
Why do you think people with ill mental health get called negative names?
I think there's a certain stigma attached that people don't understand it, so they just label it, which is obviously not a good thing to do, but I think that's mainly it.
Finally, people sort of bully them, is a word. They take the mickey at them because the way people are, which is quite wrong. I mean, for your information, I've got a daughter who's got autism and Asperger's, and she's been through the line of getting bullied because she has a problem and stuff like that. It's quite difficult. I mean, it's different way that people can react to situations like that, but the best way is just possibly ignore them, but it shouldn't be happening anyway and it should stop.
Well, it's not recognised the way it should be. A lot of people have got mental health problems, but they don't tell anybody, so other people don't know how to approach them or treat them. I find that in my view. Till I got to the very end of mine, that I've actually tried to commit suicide twice. Aye, the last time was last year, but I was lucky enough to get the proper doctor and the proper care and the proper people to help me after it. That's why I'm standing here today.
Because the people don't actually know the main reasons, like why they've got it, and they don't know how to react to them.
I think it's an ignorance. I think it's lack of education. I've had 2 real bad episodes of depression myself. I know what it feels like. And because people change, you know, people see them in a different light, and it's not always a positive light they see them in.
I think it's partly it's history, where there used to be a big stigma associated with mental health, but I think we now better understand how prevalent mental ill health can be, and that many adults will suffer from it and young people will suffer from it at some point in their lives.
To get a better perspective on the issues raised by mental health, we worked alongside young people who have lived with the experience of mental health. They made some short videos to tell you how the issues are viewed and what they have experienced. The first being the difference in treatment towards physical health and mental health.
Do people feel ashamed to talk about mental illness?
Yeah.
Do people feel ashamed to talk about physical illness?
No. They're probably more inclined to talk about something they can see as opposed to something they can't.
So why do you think the two get treated differently?
Because you don't understand mental illness, whereas physical illness you can see.
I think I can still go on the same side the way he explained. It's something which, you know, it's internal. And maybe people, the way people describe it, the way people understand it, stereotypes it, you know, they think when somebody has mental health issues, then they take it to another extent. So anyone who have got mental health will not really come out because he thinks, oh, maybe they will judge me this way. And the other way is they think maybe he didn't try. If he tried, he couldn't be the way he is, so he's just maybe seeking attention. That's why he's doing this, that's why he's like this. And, you know, that's caused somebody not to talk about mental health.
A lot of people won't tell anybody that they're depressed. I mean, my family knew I was depressed, they'd seen the signs.
Yeah.
They knew I was going downhill, but no far enough take me to an hospital and get me proper help. It's just if I hadn't done what I done, I would have been carrying on, going about with me, doing depressed, no one to talk to people. A year and a half ago when I spoke to you, I didn't buy you at a show. But when I seen mental health, you drew me.
And would you think like an event like this would help you feel more confident about expressing your views on the stigma attached to mental health?
With the amount of people that probably hear interviews today and the different opinions that people will give, if you show that to different people, it would affect the outcome.
And you wrote a song about mental health. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, the song was written when I wasn't feeling at my best. I was, you know, quite down kind of stuff. And I got myself into music and writing songs, and it gave me a focus. And so this song was kind of written for myself, really, when I wasn't feeling at my best, and then I had the chance to perform it with Experience Count. So it's been a good time.
A great journey.
Good journey.
Yeah. Good journey.
Events like Sound Minds and the Scottish Mental Health Arts and Film Festival help fight the stigma and raise awareness?
Absolutely. The more people talk about mental health, the more people will understand. I think a lot of people out there hear the words of simple things like depression and just think, oh, just go on with it, and they don't understand it. So this gives a lot of awareness, and it's definitely good.
Do people feel ashamed to talk about mental illness?
I think some people do. I think it seems harder for like men to talk about than women, which I think is a shame, because I think if you're more open about it, I think talking about it halves the problem. So I definitely think some people do feel ashamed, and I think it makes them seem weak in that, but it doesn't. I think it makes you seem like, you know, a bigger person if you can just like talk about it.
I can say in African community, mental health is a taboo. Yeah, because really it sounds like, you know, when you talk about mental health, I can say there is no another way to translate it in our language. It means crazy, and it's like in African communities, it's really like people don't want to talk about it. They are really ashamed about it. Yeah, and that's why I think, as you asked before, these events are really good, because people will come out and they will know, oh yeah, if people can perform or people can talk about it here in open air, then I can also talk about it.
Yeah. And also I can also add something to it, because like in African community, I can say like there's no mental illness.
Yeah.
Why I say so? Because people doesn't believe that there's mental illness. They can only believe that there's madness. Do you know what I mean? So events like this and organization like this can help people to understand the actually real view of mental illness.
I don't think they feel ashamed, but they feel uncomfortable because they don't know what to say.
How could you encourage people to talk about mental health the way that they talk about physical health?
I think it's really getting the news out there to break down the barriers of stigma and discrimination, and doing events like this and having our awareness raising all the time. Yeah, definitely get the word out there.
The young people also made this video to answer the question, why do people feel ashamed to talk about mental health issues? Throughout the project, we asked a variety of people who could hold the power, and they gave us their thoughts.
It's got to be yourself, I think.
Yeah, it's taking that control back for yourself.
Yeah, it starts from yourself, and then, you know, if you believe in yourself and accept that and move on and then express yourself.
And take opportunities and try everything to try and help yourself.
I think the government have a big role to play. I think they need to support mental health organisations like CME, you know, SAMH, all these kind of places. They need to be supporting them even more. There needs to be more education in schools. I work with young people on a daily basis, and I know that there's a lot of them suffering from mental health that they don't even know that they're suffering from mental health, and that's just down to their hectic lifestyles, down to their family circumstances. Nobody talks about it, and it's hidden under a carpet, you know what I mean? So there needs to be more stuff done in schools as well in terms of mental health awareness, and you know, I don't know if they would do, you know, special type sessions for young people that are suffering from mental health. But again, it goes back to that first question about, you know, talking about it and stuff like that. Young people want to talk about it.
I think it's everybody's responsibilities. It's one of these things that we can all do what we can in the jobs that we have, and I can do a little bit as a politician, I can talk about it in the chamber, but it's really something that we have to get through to everyone in society, that to care for one another and be aware of the signs that maybe someone that you know, someone that you is a member of your family is struggling, and hopefully with time, you know, all these barriers will be broken down.
The next video the young people made shows how people suffering from mental health issues sometimes feel, and what can be done to support them.
From the work we've done, we found out that mental health issues can affect anyone regardless age, gender or background.
The power to change mental health lies within everyone, even you.